In an age of spiritual famine, the land of Israel lay broken and parched under a relentless sun. For 3 long years, not a single drop of rain had fallen. The earth was cracked and barren, a mirror of the people's hearts, torn between their ancestral God and the idols of a foreign queen. In the midst of this despair, one man, the prophet Elijah, stood as a lone voice of truth. He confronted King Ahab and the entire nation on the slopes of Mount Carmel with a challenge that would echo through eternity. How long will you waver between the 2 opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him, but if Baal is God, follow him. The people caught in their doubt remained silent, unaware they were about to witness a contest for the soul of their nation. The stage was set. On one side, 450 prophets of the pagan god Baal on the altar, their voices rising in a cacophony of desperate pleas. From morning until noon, they danced and chanted, crying out for their deity to answer. As the sun beat down, their rituals grew frantic. They shouted louder and slashed themselves with swords and spears, as was their custom, until their blood flowed. Midday passed, and they continued their frantic prophecy until the time for the evening sacrifice. There was no response, no answer, no one paid attention. Their gods were silent, their altar cold and untouched. In stark contrast, Elijah approached the broken-down altar of the Lord. He calmly took 12 stones, one for each tribe of Israel, and began to repair it. With the altar rebuilt, Elijah dug a trench around it and laid the wood and the sacrifice. Then he commanded the unthinkable in a land desperate for water. Fill 4 large jars with water and pour it on the offering and on the wood. Not once, but 3 times they did this, until the water drenched the sacrifice, soaked the wood, and filled the entire trench. The crowd watched in stunned silence. Everything was saturated, making a natural fire impossible. Then, as the time for the evening sacrifice arrived, Elijah stepped forward. He raised his eyes to the heavens and prayed not with frantic cries, but with unwavering faith. O Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant, and have done all these things under your command. Answer me, O Lord, answer me. So these people will know that you are Lord, your God. Instantly, a brilliant, terrifying glow of fire descended from the sky. It did not simply burn the offering, it was a divine inferno. The fire of the Lord fell and burned up the sacrifice. The wood, the stones, and the sword also looked at the water. The ground itself seemed to tremble with the Israel display of celestial power. Terror gripped the hearts of everyone present. King Ahab, priests, and the people fell prostrate on the ground, their faces to the dust. A single, unified voice rose from the multitude. A thunderous confession of faith that shook the mountainside. The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God. The choice had been made. As the echoes of their cry faded, Elijah stood in quiet victory, his gaze turned toward the distant sea. A gentle wind began to stir, carrying the scent of change. On the horizon, a small cloud, no bigger than a man's hand, began to grow, heralding the end of the long drought. Hope, like the coming rain, was returning to the land. One prayer, one God, one power. Trust the living God. Follow for more powerful Bible stories.